Give stuff away.
What was the question again? I was just so you said ask, and that really threw me a little bit, but that's good.
Sorry.
Give stuff away. Give stuff away.
A lot of people know you from Top Chef. You won All Stars. You didn't win your original season. Do you get a lot of people coming up to you? Do you have like crazy people who say like, oh, this one time like I messed up on this thing? Like, do you find that you get funny stories from people?
I find a lot like it's either like, oh wow, I cried when you won, or I cried when you lost.
Really?
Yes. For some reason we hit a chord, but I do have a lot of people who come up to me and say, I cried that night, you know, when you lost or when you won. So yeah, it's
In a
emotional
good
for some
way or a
people.
bad way? Like I cried when you won, like I was so upset about it?
It's only been good, which is, yeah, no one's ever been like, when you won, I cried because you totally didn't deserve it.
You also have a new restaurant opening, Juniper and Ivy in San Diego.
Yes.
You are going back and forth from San Diego to Atlanta. So the real question is, what food do you take on planes? Like, what are your plane snacks now that you are going to be like a road warrior going back and forth?
Like, what do you want me to take, like cassoulet on a plane or something like that? Grits.
Yes, I do want you to take cassoulet.
Grits we talked about.
Yeah.
Like, so those are the weird things. Like, okay, you're in Southern California and you want to take tacos to the
Right.
South, and then when I'm in the
It's like
South, I
pack your
want to take
grits.
grits back to Southern California.
That's a better answer than like a sandwich.
Give stuff away.
And so you also have a new show coming out, Cook Your Ass Off.
Yeah.
How much would one have to cook to have your ass come off?
You know, this is something I've been saying. Cook your bleep off, but you just went there. So yeah,
I'm
cook
glad
your
that
ass
we're
off.
online.
Yeah, it's a show.
Cook your bleep
you know, I don't know how much. Yeah, what was the question again? I was just so you said ass, and that really threw me a little bit. But that's good.
Sorry. No, I
we've
mean,
gone there.
can one cook their ass off? Like, it's obviously a health-related thing. Like,
There
you know.
is. I mean, as someone who personally I've lost 50 or 60 pounds over the last couple of years, and I'm just figuring out that like you can exercise, I'm running marathons, you can do all that, but if you're not eating correctly, it doesn't really matter. So it's a combination. So you can cook and exercise your ass off. Yeah, you can.
Fair enough. And when is the show coming out?
December 1st, headline news on Sundays.
Give stuff away.
So you're working with Benefiber. How do you make Benefiber fun?
Yeah, well, it's fun by making food delicious. So people think healthy food, or they think fiber, they think that it can't taste good. The neat thing about the Benefiber is that it doesn't add any taste or texture to whatever you're adding it to. But I also love that as a modern chef, it's dissolvable in hot or cold liquids and soft foods like oatmeal yogurt.
Give stuff away.
We're talking about San Diego and Atlanta. What are your favorite restaurants now that you're sort of dueling cities? You know, where would you pick to go in Atlanta? Where do you pick to go in San Diego?
Well, obviously I have a bias in both cities for my own restaurants, but when I'm not eating in my own restaurants, I mean, there's a place in San Diego called Carnitas Snack Shack, and it's like a little shack with like a very progressive chef. In Atlanta, I like the fine dining. You know, Bacchanalia is one of my favorite restaurants in the world that happens to be in Atlanta. So fine dining right now, Bacchanalia is one of my favorites in Atlanta. Carnitas Snack Shack in San Diego.